Hey everybody, welcome back to Life in Room 27. I'm Miss Robinson and I'm here with another math tutorial video for you guys. Today we're going to talk about lesson 1.11, which deals with evaluating numerical expressions. This is primarily a lesson just on teaching kids their order of operations. And I know when I was growing up, when I heard order of operations, it was always accompanied with the phrase, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," to help teach me what are the operations I need to do and what order do I need to do them in when a problem has multiple math operations involved. So the P stands for parentheses first, E for exponents, M for multiply, D for divide, A for addition, and S for subtraction. So when I introduce this lesson, I might say that phrase, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," a couple of times, but eventually we just shorten it down and use the word Pemdas because it's just the acronym and it's easier for them to write on their paper to remember it. So this video should be pretty short and sweet because I'm just going to show you one example problem and point out the spot that some students might make a mistake in solving it. So I'm going to set up a whiteboard, I'm going to put that example problem up for you guys, and then we're going to wrap it up. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I've written down a problem from today's lesson. We have an expression with multiple math operations in it. I've also written the acronym Pemdas off to the side. I've marked multiplication and division as well as addition and subtraction because there's something that we need to be aware of when we're going through these problems. If you go in a problem and you're working it out and you're going left to right, and you happen to realize, or you should realize, that the division portion of the problem comes directly before the multiplication part of the problem, you're going to go ahead and do the division first. Now that's as long as they are right next to each other and you are making sure that you're working left to right. Same with addition and subtraction. You're working through a problem, you're going left to right, and you realize that the subtraction part comes directly before the addition part. You're going to go ahead and do the subtraction part first. So the way I try and help students remember is I tell them multiplication, division, and addition, subtraction, they're like two peas in a pod. They're BFFs, they're friends. They don't care who goes first as long as they're together. So just keep that in mind. Secondly, notice in this problem you have two sets of parentheses. When you're working inside your parentheses, you also want to make sure that, like in this one, you have multiple math operations. Inside the parenthesis, you're following the order of operations within the parentheses. So we're going to go ahead and work through this problem, and then you'll kind of see what I mean along the way. So let's deal with this first set of parentheses. What I know a lot of students will do when they're very early in this lesson is they'll get here and say, "Oh, I can't take 15 and subtract 36. That would be the point where I would remind them, true, but we're not supposed to be subtracting first because we have to follow the order of operations in this parentheses. And according to PEMDAS, I need to check to see if I have exponents, which I don't. I need to check to see if I have any multiplication. I don't. But I do have division, so I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to start a whole new line. I'm going to bring down the parts of this parenthesis that I'm not working with yet. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down the 15. I'm going to bring down my subtraction sign, and then I'm going to solve this part. 36 divided by 4 is going to equal 9. Okay, so that takes care of the first set of parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and bring down this addition sign, and then I'm figuring out my answer to that set of parentheses. And this one's nice because there's only one operation in there, and that's to multiply 9 times 2, and that is 18. So this is the next step in solving this problem, but clearly we're not done because we still have some math left to do. So what I was just telling you is that according to PEMDAS, if we look here, you're supposed to add before you subtract. But notice in this problem, I'm going left to right, and it just so happens that going left to right, there's a subtraction problem that comes before an addition problem. I'm going to do the subtraction first. And it's very important that students understand that that is what you have to do. That is not an option. I'm not suggesting that you do the subtraction first. I'm saying that you must do the subtraction first in order to get it correct. So you're going to do 15 minus 9, which is going to be 6. I'm going to bring down that addition sign, and I'm going to bring the 18 down. Now all I have to do is I'm going to add 24. And I'm going to go ahead and put equal signs so that we know we were working through the problem. And 24 would be your final answer, so you would box it or put a star by it so that your teacher knows you're saying that's what I got as my final answer. So 24 is the correct answer, but let me show you what would happen if a student disregarded the fact that the subtraction came first and they just said, oh, I got to add first, so let me go ahead and do that. So let me take us all the way back to that part. Okay. So if a student didn't realize, okay, I'm going left to right and I see that the subtraction comes first and Miss Robinson told me I have to do that first. If they forget to do that, what they would end up doing is bringing down their 15, and then they would take 9 plus 8 and they'd say, okay, 15 minus 9 plus 8, that's going to be 27. Okay, and then they're going to get to this spot where they're going to say, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do here because this is supposed to be a sad face, by the way. Let me make a better sad face. They're going to get there and say, I don't know what to do because how am I going to have 15 and subtract 27? Now, some students, if you know they have some awareness of positive and negative numbers, will somehow, well, they will tell me that their answer is going to be a negative answer. And I would say, I'm glad that you know your positives and that I'm glad that you know that there is a such thing as negative numbers. But in this particular lesson, we're not coming up with negative answers. So this just goes to show that if they don't pay attention to that rule, they're going to get the answer wrong. Even if they know the order of operations and they know PEMDAS, that is a very critical part of solving problems like that. And it goes the same with multiplication, division, as with addition and subtraction. So I just wanted to show you guys that, point that out to you guys. It doesn't happen with every problem, but it is something that a student may come across in a problem, and I would hate for them to get something wrong because they forgot that little special reminder when dealing with order of operations. So I'm going to go ahead and erase the board, and I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, so that's it on the example problem that I wanted to show you for evaluating numerical expressions. I just wanted to give you one quick example so that I can point out that common error that many students have made in the past. As you're working on your homework tonight, or as you're working on problems of this nature, I would just always suggest that you write that acronym PEMDAS somewhere on your paper to just remind you of your order of operations. Also, don't forget that multiplication, division, and addition and subtraction are BFFs. Two peas in a pod. They don't care who comes first as long as they are together. And if you're working with parentheses, keep your order of operations in mind while you're working within the parentheses. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys found it helpful. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe so you know when I've put up a new video. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.